Azam Part 149. The Jallianwala Bagh was a physical butchery. The Simon Commission is the butchery of our soul. By appointing an exclusively white commission, Lord Birkenhead has declared our unfitness for self-government. I welcome Pandit Malavia, and I welcome the hand of fellowship extended to us by the Hindu leaders from the platform of Congress and Hindu Mahasabha. For to me this offer is more valuable than any concession which the British government can make. Let us then grasp the hand of fellowship. This is indeed a bright day, and for achieving this duty, our thanks are due to Lord Birkenhead. Strong stuff, all this. Simon and eponymous commission had at least got all the Indian parties speaking of unity, if not actually reaching it. Jinnah sailed for England in May 1928, accompanied by Srinivasa Jayenga, President of the Indian Congress at that time, and Diwan Chamanlal. He stayed there for 6 months, for which period Irving continued to receive reports from England about Jinnah's endeavours at influencing the British Labour Party and India Office for the inclusion of Indian representatives on the Simon Commission. To not much avail, though, for Jinnah returned to India in October 1928 without either any encouraging result or even much hope. In an interview to the Times of India on 26 October 1928, immediately after his return to Bombay, Jinnah warned his countrymen that it was the biggest folly on their part to expect any substantial help from any one party in England, and that the one hope for India was unity between Hindus and the Muslims. However, despite the earlier discussed 1928 Nehru report, Jinnah was not without hope of settling communal question, and applied himself afresh to achieving just that objective. In the March of 1928, Jinnah had already suggested to Irving 2 ways of resolving the difficulty. One was turning Simon Commission into a mixed commission, and the other was establishing a twin Indian commission with parallel authority. Jinnah had offered to take the brunt of the attack in India if either of his suggestions was accepted. Irving received a similar suggestion from Sir Chimanlal Sethalwald in June 1928. Irving took up these suggestions with conviction to the extent that it nearly caused a diplomatic clash with then Secretary of State for India, Lord Birkenhead, who saw in these suggestions an undue Indian pressure for concessions, which according to him, Birkenhead, if conceded, would only expand. On Irving's insistence, the suggestions were, however, placed before the British cabinet, whereas the Secretary of State, Birkenhead, leaned heavily on his colleagues and secured a decision against Irving. Hereafter, Irving's political effort shifted from India to Britain. He looked towards going home sometime in the middle of 1929 so as to get an opportunity and an advantage to talk to the leadership directly in Britain on the complexities of Indian question. Then suddenly the clouds parted. Birkenhead resigned from India Office in October 1928. This removed an obstacle for Irving. In June 1929, just before he was to leave for home, On 4 months' leave, the Labour Party came to power in Britain, and Anthony Wedgwood Benn was appointed Secretary of the State for India.